sure we're all good. Yep, I think that vibration means we're good. So fantastic. Good to be here once again. Thank you very much for tuning into the stream, and as usual, I'm going to start off with the questions. Hi, how you going? I always start off the stream with the stream questions. There usually aren't very many. We'll just have a look and see how many there are. Let's do that. Live stream request box. Okay, we've got a couple people. So we're going to be talking a bit about the Ask survey, and because we just got that in, that came in yesterday, and yeah, hopefully we shed some light on that. Start off, what do you think is responsible for people voting for flat butts and legs? You could study osteology. What the fuck's osteology? I don't even know. In the objectification survey. Well, it's all relative, isn't it? I mean, there's not a lot to work with, I suppose. But you guys are the ones doing the voting. So all you people who said, why isn't this person here? How this person beat this person? Next time, just share the survey a bit more. Share it among your favourite fandoms, and maybe they'll get some do some extra votes for you. Some people actually did that. I know that a few people who are in a Mamamoo shared it around, because I can always tell when it happens, because right in the middle of the surveys is this, in the results, is just this random block of people who all voted for Mamamoo. So that's fine. I don't mind. And there were a few other cases like that as well, where I could tell that someone had said to their friends, hey, vote for so-and-so. So there you go. I'll just get to these other stream questions. Why is YG giving his only girl group so much crap? Why are they so lazy when it comes to Blackpink? This is the second time we hear them getting songs from 3 or 4 years ago. This is in reference to one of their songs, Forever Young, apparently was kicking around from 2015. And yeah, I don't know, they just had it there. It's not the feature track anyway, so it doesn't really matter. They'll put out almost anything as a non-feature track, so I don't really care. Do you like Day 6? They will come back soon, and there is a song in the new album that sounds really good but also familiar. Track 5 talking to. Generally speaking, I don't like Day 6. Generally speaking, they sound to me like Coldplay. I think there's 1 or 2 songs they've done which I haven't minded, but I'll just quickly bring this up. That distortion sounds like the old distortion pedal. My first distortion pedal I had when I was growing up was called a Rocktech distortion. I think my parents bought it for me because they just wanted to buy the cheapest one. And yeah, the Rocktech distortion is just like the worst distortion sound ever. They made those Rocktech pedals for a little while in the early 90s, and yeah, if you can find an opportunity to get your hands on a Rocktech distortion pedal, don't bother. They're really terrible sound. Well, it's about the Rocktech basics, yeah. That's song number 1, so we're asking about song number 5. It's hard to judge just from this little snippet. It's got the circular fixed progression that is really common in a lot of pre-Golden Age K-pop. But other than that, I can't really say much about it because I'm not hearing the whole thing. That's why I don't ever give my opinions on teasers and stuff like that, because it's just a waste of time. Just no reason to bother. Also, watch Produce 48. I want more weekly reviews from you. No, sorry, I've got other shit to do than watch some TV show. You can always go to Asian Junkie. He does pretty good wrap ups of the Produce stuff, I think. Honestly, and I imagine I probably wouldn't say that much. It's all that different from what he'd say anyway. I just don't care about it. I care about when the songs come out. When the song comes out, I'll put it in Roundup, right? Because I care about that. I care about songs, but I don't care about TV shows. So, turn the YouTube volume down a little. Yeah, sorry, I had it up a bit loud, didn't I? How loud was it? Yeah, okay. Well, it's gone now anyway, so who cares? It's the song ain't that good, so it don't matter. Well, maybe it is. Who knows? It's just a preview, so I can't really judge it. Where's my thingo? Yeah, so Produce 48. I'm not going to be covering it, unless, like not the actual TV show itself. You know what I mean? If there's something, I don't know, that comes out of it that's more interesting, then maybe that'll get covered. But I don't know. Special guest Ewan McCartney, maybe that'll be covered. I don't know. But yeah, other than that, I'm not going to worry about it. Definitely not. Just reading your chats at the moment. I still don't know if the Shindong votes are trolling or not. Actually, they're not. Like, a few of them are, without a doubt. But I would say that the majority of Shindong votes are actually legit. Or at least people with a sense of humour, right? Because, I mean, the whole thing that I'm doing with the objectification poll is it's seriously tongue-in-cheek. It's, the whole thing started because I had the booze post, which is a seriously tongue-in-cheek post that people just don't understand. And so I thought, well, I could do an arse one, but I don't really care about arses that much. So let's just let people vote. So instead of having my opinion on what's a good arse, then, well, you guys can decide. So I did. So I did an arse survey. And then people said, oh, well, why don't you do one for this and that? So I've built it up. And that's why you've got the objectification survey now with 4 different categories. But it's not like I'm sitting here drooling over it all. I don't really care that much. I'm an older guy. I have a girlfriend that I've had for like nearly 9 years now. And these young capable girls really aren't doing it for me at all. I'm not really that interested as far as that side of things goes. It's more just for tongue-in-cheekness, and it's more about making fun of a few things. Okay, one is just making fun of the idea of objectification, because it's everything in this particular industry is an object of some sort. So when people start talking about objectification, it doesn't really make that much sense because it's all a product anyway. Objectification only really makes sense in a negative context, in the sort of way that, say, Melanie from Chocolate was talking about it, where she was saying, I was feeling objectified when I was a trainee. I wasn't feeling like I was being treated as a person. That makes sense, right? But for consumers of the product, well, you are consuming an object. That's just a fact. So objectification is probably one of the more rational ways to engage with K-pop, if you know what I mean. Whereas a really irrational way to engage with K-pop, which is a way that a lot of people do engage with it, is, I'm in love with my bias. That's just completely off in fairyland because your favourite guy or girl just isn't the way they are on camera most of the time anyway. So the objectification survey is partly about that. And the second thing is, I've sort of lost my train of thought a little bit, but just making fun of the double standard that happens and stuff like that, and just taking the piss about how people lose their shit over an attractive girl or an attractive guy. And that's always really funny for someone who isn't from the K-pop culture, looking at it mainly from the outside, which is mainly what I do. I come from like a heavy metal background, and nobody is in a heavy metal because they like the guys or the girls in the group. It just doesn't happen. It's all ugly people across the board. No one gives a fuck. And so to have people who are into K-pop because they really like the people is just, outlandishly insane to me. And so it's making fun of that and just shining a light on that a little bit and saying, look, this is really a bit silly. And the booze post is partly about that as well. And yeah, and so many people misunderstand that and think, oh my God, he's an older guy and he's posting about all these young people and God, he must be a pedophile, must be a pervert. No, you don't get it. But, you know, try and explain that to people, you can't, because they're stupid. Anyway. Yeah, the Shindong votes aren't trolling any more than the actual survey itself is trolling, if you know what I mean, for the most part. I think some people really do like him, and, you know, why not? I mean, if you're in that size guy, you know, you're not catered for very well in K-pop, right? I mean, I know a girl who went out with a guy with sort of Shindong proportions, and then he started going to the gym and losing a lot of weight, and she actually kind of was a bit upset. She was like, yeah, I miss my large cuddly guy, you know. So those people exist. So, you know, not every girl wants to buff abs and all that shit. Just like not every guy wants a, you know, skinny racehorse model type or whatever. You know, I like bigger girls. So I've always been very open about that, and that's one of the reasons why I don't actually give a shit about any of the girls in K-pop. Is, you know, they're just not what I am interested in at all. Probably, I don't know, physically probably. Maybe you and Mikami sort of getting there a little bit, and Pure Kim, people like that. But really, overall, it's just like, no. So, yeah, and I like the point in the channel. You have to objectify to agree, otherwise what's the difference? Because that's the only thing that really stays semi-consistent in the groups is the membership, right? The songs could come from anywhere. You know, sometimes you get one person who'll write songs consistently for a group, or they'll have one particular concept that they continue to write for a group. Like, all the Twice's songs sound pretty similar. All the G-Friends, regardless of who's writing them, all the G-Friends songs sound pretty similar regardless of who's writing them. All of Dreamcatcher's songs obviously have got a certain theme going on, and I'm not sure who's writing them, if it's the same people or different people, but they're the exceptions. Most K-pop groups just try their luck with different writers, and they'll just, you know, get what they can from wherever they can get it. So it's not entirely irrational to go around picking your bias and stuff like that, and that's why I have that content, because I think it is not an irrational thing to do. It's not as important as the music to me, but, you know, it's there. You know, it's the elephant in the room, so you might as well address it, right? And that's more rational than saying, you know, all the sort of stuff that goes on in K-pop forums, right, where everyone's in love or whatever, because you're in love with an illusion, unfortunately. I addressed that last week in the stream. So, I'm just reading your Twitch chat. Yeah, so some people liked the dong. So I'm in the middle of working out the legs one at the moment. And I haven't started on the guys yet. I'm about 2/3 of the way through the girls. And yeah, that'll come out probably in about 5 days or so, something like that. Once I get all the stats, I'll be able to tell you who's in the lead and who's winning and all that sort of stuff. So I'll just have a quick look at the post. Shindong at the front. I've decided I'm going to make Shindong the mascot, because people like to vote for him, and it is partly a troll job, but not completely. I'm just going to make him the header image to every single one of these objectification polls when I put the results up, because yeah, why not? And I hope he gets to number one day. He didn't do too bad so far in the Arsenal's poll. Got number 4. That's pretty good. That's higher than I thought he'd get. So go. So yeah, Nancy from Momoland. Seolhun nearly beat Nancy actually. There's a real interesting thing that happened with the survey is that it got shared among all my normal readers, and then about a week later, Reddit K-pop FAP found out about it, and then they started. There was a few links up there that one of my followers posted up, and that got a lot of extra traffic. And the Reddit K-pop FAP people actually vote kind of differently to my regular readers. And I can tell you that Nancy was much more popular with Reddit K-pop FAP, and Seolhyun was more popular with my regular readers. So there's a bit of trivia for you. I think the reason for the difference is that Nancy's her profile's a bit newer. She's only just been noticed, and I think the people who are reading Reddit K-pop FAP a lot are a little bit more in the loop than my regular readers about who's new. Right, so I think you'll see newer choices there, whereas my regular readers they're more in favour of the ones that are known. You got quite high, Momo of course, and so on and so on. A lot of people vote for Choa, AOA. She's real popular, even though she's not doing anything. So, and Dahi, I'm amazed anyone voted for her at all because she's just literally done nothing. But there you go. Irene's in it. There's a big list. Males, Jimin. There was no competition for Jimin. He just streaked away number one. I knew after about 10 answering, looking at maybe about 10 people's results, I thought, yeah, it's going to be Jimin. Wonho did really well, very popular. Monster X are just one of those groups that are incredibly popular internationally, and I don't know if Korea really cares about them that much, but every other country, they're just making a big dent. I'm not sure why. Could be something to do with the name of the group. Monster X is a pretty good name for a group. It's better than the usual K-pop names. I think that if you've got a good group name, that's a good advantage. And of course I'm linking to my computer game post because I just can't let that go. That's so hilarious. I mean, he even looks there like he's, practicing his groping technique, and thinking about it. So EXO Shindong, he had the black suit come back, and he probably looks better than he has in a long time in Shindong fan cam. So you see, there's got to be Shindong fans out there. I mean, otherwise, why would there be a Shindong fan cam? It's not like there are none, So yeah, there you go. Junho 2 PM, Jungkook, Shonu. He did last year he was pretty close. Almost everyone who voted for Wonho also voted for Shonu, but this year Shonu didn't do quite as well. And yeah, someone's groping his ass, one of the other people in the group. So don't forget about Me Too, Shonu. He's gonna start hashtagging Me Too soon, saying when I was in Monster X, everyone used to grope my ass. Oh, I felt so degraded. Minho, N, so on, Junsu, and JYJ. That's a really old photo of him. I couldn't find any new photos. Jackson got 7. Rap Monster. He's a lot of people complaining about people with no ass and saying, "Oh, Rap Monster's got no ass," but it's relative. And besides, it wasn't a poll. What you guys got to remember as well, it wasn't a survey about the biggest ass or the biggest boobs. It was a survey about the ones you like the most. And some people like small, and that's fine. So look at that fucking picture of Jackson. That is him, right? Yeah, he's extremely flat. But then he's wearing some real baggy shit as well, though, mind you. So you can see how baggy it is. So it's probably not the best photo, but it's actually really hard to find good photos of his ass. There's like one photo that was taken of him in a sauna or something like that, which shows his ass pretty much completely. And I think I've used that already somewhere, so I didn't want to use it again. And since then, it's just been nothing. So, and so there's all the results for the guys, the rest of the guys, and yeah, military service will make you more fit. Yeah, I don't know. I guess so. I don't know what they do in the military. Get yelled at a lot. Yeah, I can't believe that Sauron has won so many times. She's fighting pretty, but she doesn't have a good ass. Yeah, one thing I've learned with these lists is that perception is 90% of reality. So obviously these people's, bits don't change very much from year to year, right? They're not. I don't think someone's ass magically got better or worse, right? It's really just a popularity contest. It's whose ass people are noticing more. That's really all it is. But it's all tongue in cheek anyway. It's all just taking the piss out of people who lose their shit about stuff which they really shouldn't. Yeah, and Dassom did chart. She charted 162. There's there she is. Dassom from Sister, 162. Right below Umji from G Friend. But I'm still working on my results. I will, the most attractive result. People often say, why don't you do a face? But the fourth one is my most attractive, and that's really face, really, when you think about it. So that's coming up after I've finished off with the legs, because both men and women always pick the face as the most attractive thing. That's almost universal with everybody. Why OpenOffice and not Google Docs? Because if I do OpenOffice, then I store the information on my hard drive, where if I do Google Docs, then Google has the information. And who knows what Google will do with that information. Do I trust Google with my information? No. I'll keep it all in-house. Don't use Google Docs. Don't use fucking Microsoft OneDrive or any of that shit. Keep your information private. Don't give it to other people unless you want to. And I'll give you the information via these streams and the posts and stuff like that. But what if at some point down the track I violate Google's terms of service and they decide to close my Google account, and then I can't access my data? So that could happen if they find out about, I don't know, French face or something. That's right. You don't want Google finding out about, who's got the best K-pop abs, or, because they'll start targeting their advertising and stuff like that, and or ask whatever, fuck Google. So there you go. There's the Ask survey. I got on one Hallyu, which is pretty. Like someone posted about it. The stats, see that little jump there? There's a little bit of a spike. That's probably from one Hallyu, who have someone did a topic. There was a best button K-pop poll recently. Nancy won the whole poll out of thousands of votes. So that's a link to the Arses poll. They got downvoted 4 times. Isn't the dude who runs the site in his 30s? Funny. Who gives a fuck? It's like fucking playing identity politics with my satire posts. Don't even realise it's satire. Fucking morons. So Shindong at number 4. LMAO. And someone said they should do another one for boobs, and they did do one for boobs. So people obviously can't fucking read, which is pretty funny. So good on Korean Pop here. I enjoy your post. Thank you for linking my post, and thank you also for your appealingly generic name. This person's alright by me. Isn't the dude who runs the site in his 30s? Yes, an unimpressed face. Um, to, just deal with it. Jesus fucking Christ. You don't, when you turn 30, you don't magically, stop, noticing shit. And yeah, I'm older than my 30s anyway. Don't tell them, they'll freak out. Anyway, what else have I got to talk about? Not a lot. The poll went well, everything's going good. The other post I did this week was... this one here. Blank, just ranked 63,595 views. Here's how to be a true fan, get them to 87,582, views. I'm just making fun of the idea that, these, like, if you go on Sumpy or whatever, I think for every single 10 million views, they've done another post. They just keep milking it, and it's so stupid. It's like, well, you could milk it every 5 million or every 1 million or every 500 or every 12,365,000, whatever. So I'm just making the fun out of this. The between the lines there is just basically, look, guys, just fucking chill out about the amount of views. It's just not that fucking important. Nobody cares. So. And all these tips about how to increase the view count. This is stuff which I've mostly just copy and pasted from other sites who reckon they've all got it figured out, and then I've just added a few little jokes and stupid things at the end of each one. But I'll tell you right now that if you actually give a fuck about this sort of stuff, which, you're a moron if you do, but if you do, if you want to know what actually works and what doesn't, then here's what you do. You create your own YouTube video of just whatever, and then you make it unlisted, and then you click on it and start clicking on it and watching it, and then you just count what works and what doesn't, and there you go. That's how you can find out. I don't know how they operate all that sort of crap, but I don't really care. I remember armies are trying to get a record for most comments on a video. They'd be capable of it too. It'd just be like any armies here over and over again. Because that's what I do. That's what they do. That's why I did that. That's why I did the fanfic any armies here, and at the very end, this, spoilers by the way for those of you who haven't read this, amazing work of fiction. But at the very end, it goes through this whole story about how BTS fans are keeping the SM trainees captive because they're so incredibly psycho, and they think there's chart manipulation. And it's all told from the perspective of the actual SM trainee who's caught up in it and doesn't actually know what's going on at all. So you don't even find out what's happening until right at the end of the story. And then she's in hospital and she reads about herself on the internet by looking up netizen buzz. And of course the BTS fans are just behaving like BTS fans always do, and they're just spamming any armies here. They don't actually have anything to say. So that was my way of making fun of that, which didn't make a splash at all with BTS fandom, by the way. I don't think I'm on their radar yet. I think, I'm not sure how to get on their radar. Don't really want to know, don't really care. But obviously, there weren't any riots about this. Or maybe they thought of the compliment, they were too stupid to read between the lines. Who knows? So anyway, that is that. That's all I've got to say. This has been another stream. I'll be back next week. And I was scared of Google, yet you mock the armies. cats, alright. I'm not scared of Google, I just don't want to have my shit. Because, you know, why give your personal documents to Google? What's the point? You know, I trust my hard drive, I don't trust Google. But it's not really a big issue. It's not even that I really thought about that before you guys asked me the question. It's more just, you know, why would I not put a document on my hard drive or use OpenOffice or whatever? It's, you know, it's you know, what's the point? You know, just because someone flops out their dick in your face doesn't mean you have to suck it. You have choice. Anyway, that's it for the stream. I'll be back next stream. If you want to stay on, I'm going to play some computer games in a bit. Just because, why not? And because I've been doing other stuff all day. Been doing lots of shopping and other things, stuff and things. But I haven't even listened to the K-pop for the week. I'll get around to that in a few hours. So, but yeah, it's been good. Thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And sorry, no cat content this week. She might come in later if you stick around for the gaming. She usually pops in and out while I'm doing stuff. I think she is attracted to the sound of people dying in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So, goodbye for me. And yeah, have a good week. I'll be back next week. There'll be the legs stuff. I'll talk about that.